Hello, good evening. Welcome back to another show. Welcome back to the channel. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Ruben Amorim is the topic again tonight. That warning from the football club about what's expected over the coming weeks. Interesting article, an interesting piece from Sean Connolly on what is really going on behind the scenes at Manchester United, and calling out a few other journalists actually as well at the same time. Really interesting on that one. Interesting updates from behind the scenes as well at Manchester United. We're also going to go into the 5 reasons that Ruben's getting it wrong. 5 things that he can fix that can help Manchester United, and more importantly, him going forward off the back of this news that we're talking about at the top of the show tonight. It is a busy night of content again, everybody. We have got the watch-alongs for both Manchester City, Napoli and Newcastle against Barcelona this evening. We've got both games covered on Football Talk straight after this, so make sure that you do get involved. Make sure that you do stick around, get your comments in the live section, and also get me your comments in after the video is finished on this subject and what we're talking about tonight. And then come and join us for the, let's just call it, the former Manchester United demolition of Manchester City. And Manchester City demolition of Manchester City, as Rasmus Højlund, Scott McTominay and Kevin De Bruyne take Man City apart and make us all feel a little bit better as a Man United fan base about what happened at weekend. Just a tiny little bit better. But it would be nice to see Scotty actually make a dent in City's Champions League hopes already, wouldn't it? Anyway, that comes later. First of all, we've got the Manchester United news, your updates and everything going on at the club. I'm going to start with this news around Ruben Amorim, why Manchester United are backing him still, why he's getting a lot of support from internally at Manchester United. Different reports that came out on Monday and Tuesday that have now disappeared, and other reports and different journalists coming forward saying what has really happened. Was it knee-jerk? Was they guessing? Was they just trying to scaremonger and get things going to get a few clicks and a few headlines within the media world and try and get a bit of attention? Well, according to some, yes. Because Ruben, well, if you like it or not, he's actually being really backed by Manchester United, according to this report. We're going to go through this and then we're going to break down what Ruben has to do to change it, though. Before we start, though, just on Ruben Amorim, before I forget this, there's an interesting chart that's come out this evening regarding all clubs and it's come from The Athletic, who has tweaked their in-game shape most often this season. Out of every single side, Nottingham Forest lead the way right at the top of the table. I'll give you 2 guesses who's bottom of the table. Now, looking at it here, West Ham 33, Tottenham 30, Wolves in the 20s, Brighton, Brentford, every one of these clubs all the way down. You'd think David Moyes, he's rigid, yeah, he's 19th in the league. 20th in the league, Man United and Ruben Amorim. He's not for changing, is he? He doesn't like it. We're going to talk about what he can do and a report that's come out about the 5 things that Ruben can fix. And I'm going to see if you agree with it. But first of all, let's get into the actual stories itself and what's actually going on at Manchester United regarding why this ownership and why Manchester United's board are so vigorously defending Ruben Amorim and what is happening right now. So just read you this small piece first of all, then we'll get some comments in on it and we'll have a good old chat about it as well. Ruben Amorim retains the support of Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada, who revert to metrics such as chance creation and shots as an underlying measure of the work on the training field and the margins missed in fixtures. Basically, excusing the table results and everything that really matters for them stats that we've talked about a lot. They are better. Manchester United do seem to be creating a lot more, or actually getting more touch in the opposition box and doing more. So they're using that. Although there was much disappointment at boardroom level following the manner of the defeat at Manchester City, Amorim was the first to acknowledge the glaring issues and understands that results must improve. So, to break down paragraph number 2, the stats was in the first one. In paragraph number 2, because Ruben Amorim obviously himself highlighted the major issues that we had in this game, it is seen as not as much of a bigger deal. Now, you can say that I'm sort of overhyping that a bit there. You'd expect Ruben Amorim, is what I'm saying, to realise the mistakes that have been made, to actually notice, like everybody else has noticed, what was glaringly wrong with Manchester United's game against Manchester City at the weekend. Pretty much everything. But that is something that they're letting him, well, not so much letting him off the hook with, but the fact that he isn't making excuses, I think, is what they're trying to get at there in the article. Reports of player dissatisfaction appear to be exaggerated. Naturally, the squad is upset that they do not have more points to show for their efforts. However, there is a belief that this will change with the coming fixtures. You would hope so, because every single Manchester United player, squad and team over, forever, should be going out on that pitch to get positive results. So that's a given, to be honest. There is a belief that will change in the upcoming fixtures. So what they're saying here is they're using the stats, they're using the metrics and all of the analysis from games, like data analysis. We're big on that now after finally catching up to the rest of the Premier League when it comes to it. So with the data, with the statistics, with everything, all of the metrics and everything that we're reading into these games, Manchester United are improving. The problem that he's got, and the hardest thing to back him up with this, or back Manchester United up actually getting behind Ruben Amorim right now, for a lot of fans will be, well, why are you ignoring the glaringly obvious, which is league position, the fact that these players are not confident in what they're doing? Yes, if we put chances away, then we're a different team. But why do we melt when it doesn't actually work out? Why do we melt when we don't take a chance? If we don't score the first goal, like I've said this season, look at the games. When United score first, we get points or we get a result. That's been proven. The only points we've got this season is when we took the lead against Fulham, when we took the lead against Burnley. All the other games that we have lost, we ended up conceding the first goal. So that, I think, is what Ruben needs to work on. That's what I think the club needs to actually be looking at. Personally, for me, I understand the stats and goals change games, but you can't expect to score the first goal in every single game, is what I would say to that. So where I get what he's saying, and I get that the club are right behind Ruben Amorim. We said this yesterday. We said that they need it to work, and Ineos need Ruben Amorim to make this work. Talks of how much money's been saved, how many jobs have been lost and people made redundant to be spent on the first team to only get worse. He's going to come onto Ruben's head. So he's under massive amounts of pressure right now. But all of the stats and all of the statistics and metrics that people are talking about here, and how United are using these to back Ruben up, fine. It does look like we are doing something on the training ground, but if this team are not mentally strong enough, like he says, or let's just break it down into realistic tongue, which is if these players don't believe in going behind, this system is going to work. Do they have belief enough unless they're actually holding on to a lead? Like, even against the likes of Fulham, Ruben came out and said we went back to our old ways and tried to defend the lead. When we went 3-0 down to Manchester City, when there's no pressure on, we started to believe and play football again because the pressure was off. And when you're 1-0 down against Arsenal, obviously you're chasing the game. You feel like you are done to. Mentally, you kind of get away with it a little bit because you feel like it should have been a free kick on Altay Bayındır. So you've already got that excuse to get out of there that you've been harshly treated to. Instead of going out there and making something happen, you're looking for the excuse all of the time. Well, Ruben's not made an excuse for Manchester City. He's just called it as it is. And that, apparently, is good. Well, it's basics. It's what should be happening. Anyone who tries to disguise anything from that game or try and make an excuse for how we performed in that game, or even say that we was actually okay, is going to get absolutely slaughtered by anybody. And thankfully, Ruben's not done that. So when they come out and say that Ruben's acknowledged that, yeah, fine, fair enough. I'm glad he has done. I'm glad he's not tried to cover it up and say we played well in stages and whatever. The statistics, they're there. We've talked about them already. They're great to talk about when you're winning games, but statistics count for absolutely nothing when you're not winning. It's as simple as that, and no one's really paying attention to them because we're 14th in the league. So, yeah, you've got that, and internally you can look at things like that and back yourself up because you're in that protective red bubble at Carrington and everything's positive and everyone is on their same page. Well, if you go off this report again, them exaggerated reports about player unrest would prove that point. So the players feel like they are doing the right things, and they're really disappointed because all of their efforts on the training ground have not come to anything yet on the pitch, and we're not getting the rub of the green, we're not getting much luck, we're not taking our chances, blah, 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 but still. It really does not matter. It just sounds like you're making excuses. You can talk about this now, and the first 4 games you've got, I feel, definite, let's just call it, definite points to make there when it comes to what's actually gone wrong, and you could defend United with it a little bit. But don't go on too much about it, is what I say, because people will call you out for what it is. If it goes on 5 or 6 games and we've still not won 2 games back to back, or we still haven't won a game, for instance, for one, I think he'll actually be sacked. And 2, no one's going to even give you that chance to make an excuse. You're into October. It's as simple as that. He has to win the next 3 games. That's what's being said. That's what's being reported behind the scenes. With all of this talk, with everything that they've said and what they're backing him with, they're still talking like they know they need results, and nobody is even thinking about getting carried away with stats. So this is what's keeping him there at the moment. And let's not forget, like we said last night, everybody bleeding loves him at Manchester United. So straight away, they are going to look at this and say, well, yes, we love Ruben Amorim. We see the stats. We see the improvements off the pitch. We see the improvements in certain aspects on it. We just need a little bit more luck. We'll see if that comes, won't we? And we'll see if that floats in a couple more games' time. Let's get the comments on this first of all, see where you're actually at. Please don't forget to make sure you hit that like button as well. Make sure you've also subscribed to Forever United TV while you're at it. It's free and it helps the channel out massively. Thank you to everyone again for all of your support. As always, we're seeing the same faces in and people coming back. It means they want to get in and get the debate on. And we do like to do that on the evening shows. So let's get into it. First of all, Sub has just dropped a big super chat in there. Thank you very much, mate. It says, I cannot deny this, but there were moments in the City game before the first goal. I saw great opportunities opened for the team that were not taken. Ahmad missed a few. Confidence is low. Results are needed. Yeah, I said the same thing when we was doing the watch along on Sunday. I said, United, lethargic in attack. It's all right talking about getting into certain positions, but if you don't take advantage of them positions, then you're going to get found out in the Premier League. Doesn't matter who you're playing. And this has been proven all the way through the season already. Even though it's only 4 games, we are still dealing with the fact that Manchester United are not clinical enough. Cal in the chat says, okay, sorry, he's talking to someone else there. Never mind. Let's get some more comments in here. That we have conceded 2 goals from open play with almost 70 chances in total is baffling. Ruben cannot do anything with so many misses. It's going to be interesting because I'm going to break down the 5. I'm not going to tell you who did this report. You can guess who did this report. But 5 things in a minute we're going to talk about that Ruben can change to help his life at Manchester United. We couldn't beat eggs, says Ian McDonald's. Fair enough. Straight to the point. Tim says that they did ask him the $64,000 question, and you are going to start putting an extra bod in midfield, Ruben. Rumour has it Ruben Amorim wears the same underpants every day. He doesn't like change. That stat alone, like the fact that Manchester United have adapted their formation in-game less times than any team in this league. That is crazy. Now, you can think that's just basics of football, really, there. And Ruben, we know he's stubborn anyway. But, come on. That is drastic, isn't it? The fact that we haven't changed. In fact, Ruben has changed his shape, according to the stats and the Athletic, 7 times this season. That's it. There are other teams up there that have done it 30, 40 times, adapting in-game to try and make something happen. Adam, I'm still suffering and stunned from Sunday. What should I do, lad? Should I pour myself a stiff drink? Now, I'm not going to say to anybody, go and drink, and just that's going to be the answer. But what I would say is, if it makes you calm and chilled, go and grab yourself one and just put your feet up for a bit and not think about it. We're going to cover every angle, and then we're going to laugh at City after this, mate, anyway, on the watch-along, because Rasmus Højlund's going to tear them a new one. If he doesn't, then Scotty Too Hotty's going to come in behind him and smash it top bins and put City on the back seat again. Because Arsenal are also going to beat City this weekend. In fact, I should have said this before, but looking at the table, I think Manchester United will be back ahead of Man City this weekend. I do. It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? All of that palaver, all of that Sky interviewing Rodri and Bernardo Silva. I don't know if you've seen it before about the start of their season now and all of that crap. But I think United will beat Chelsea this weekend because we need to. And City will lose to Arsenal. And United will be back ahead of City in the league again. It's crazy how it works, football, isn't it? But 4 games in doesn't look too bad. 5 games in, we're back ahead of City again and everyone's talking about something else. That's football for you. And that is the Premier League early doors in the season. And this is what we said. Just be competitive. Just be combative. Just stay up there. Just actually make it hard for teams to beat you. Don't roll over and have your bellies tickled like you did against Man City. Look, if we had another game like, say, for instance, Fulham against Man City, probably could have stomached it and thought, you know what, there's room for improvement. We just got to move forward. But it wasn't. It was the Man United of the last 5 years that just completely left themselves out there on the pitch with no idea what they were doing. That's what it was. So that's why it's so concerning and worrying and why people are now looking at Amorim. It's like, why have they just given up on you, mate? Why can't you figure it out? Why have you only changed your system in games 7 times this season when other teams ahead of you are treble, quadruple, quintuple times more than you in doing this? Why are you not adapting? Clearly, other managers in the Premier League have learnt that you cannot be as rigid as you are. You have to change. Which takes us on to our next subject, really. The reports are there, the stats are there, the reasons are there why Ineos are backing him, and they're expecting a upturn in form for Manchester United in the coming weeks. Word for word, quote for quote. That's what Sean Collins come out and reported there in his piece. So realistically looking at that, right, what do Manchester United do? So I'm not going to tell you who's compiled this, but these are the 5 things that Ruben Amorim, according to this website publication, that Ruben Amorim needs to do, and this is their explanation for it. Right, so first of all, number 1, the one thing that Ruben can do this weekend for Chelsea that will change, well, let's just say not change, but help Ruben get a better result. And go along with me on this one as well. I'll read out the thing that we can do, and then their little explanation as to what's happened already. So number 1, decide on a number 1 goalkeeper. The goalkeeping department has been a mess at United for some time. Andre Onana is gone, shipped off on loan to Trabzonspor, but that hasn't solved the problem. Altay Bayındır has played all 4 Premier League games this season, but simply does not look up to the level required. Amorim opted against throwing in 18.2 million signing Senna Lamens into the firing line for the derby on the weekend, but surely he can't stick with Bayındır. Manchester United opted for Lamens over Aston Villa's Emi Martinez and Gianluigi Donnarumma, who went to City instead, so they clearly believe in the 23-year-old Belgium. Amorim can't delay the decision any longer. Talk of Lamens getting used to a different balls in England is laughable. Did anyone else hear that? That talk of Lamens getting used to different balls? That there, like, sorry, if that is true, I didn't know about that, by the way. I'm just talking and reading straight off the page here. Fixing the goalkeeping situation first of all. Talk to me about that, everybody. Should we just put Lamens in now? Is it time to just go, commitment, Lamens, let's go, mate. Let's see what you've got, son. I think so. Like, Bayındır is not going to do any better than Lamens this weekend. That's one thing I could say. That's a guarantee. Like, Lamens isn't going to do any worse than Bayındır. Let's get him in. If he's the future of this football club, why is he not in the team? He's old enough, strong enough, he's adaptable enough. We've looked at the reels, we know where we scouted him. Every other European club out there with any recognition at all, apparently, unless it's just United bigging the sale up, was after Senna Lamens, and he must have something and he's ready to go. So, goalkeeper selection. Is that the right way to go for Manchester United? Number 1 thing that Ruben can do. Should we put Senna Lamens in? Talk to me, people, in the chat. I'll read through all of the other comments as well, if there's some that haven't been read as well. So pile in, everybody. Steve says, I just hope it is our fans singing Ghana, Ghana. That's the score. What's the score? Sorry. I got totally mixed up and tongue-tied there, mate. Sorry. Hope it's our fans singing Ghana, Ghana, what's the score? Ghana, what's the score? But suspect it will be there's taunting Ruben, sacked in the morning. You're getting sacked in the morning. Hopefully not, mate. Hopefully not. Are we playing Lamens in goal? Yes, Baynder is shite, says Carl. Okay, I think that pretty much tells me what Carl thinks. When we need a goal, Ruben brings on Maguire. Ferries brought on Solskjaer. That's probably a phrase that I don't know about. Sorry about that. Daz Sofa says Donnarumma didn't need to acclimatise to balls. No, he didn't. I don't even know if that's a real story. Look, I've just read that straight off there and I didn't know that was in there. I'll be honest. I'm just reading these 5 things off the page right now and we're guessing amongst us if we think this is going to make a difference or not. Adam, I don't know where you're getting this confidence that we are going to beat Chelsea. Just leave me with it, mate. I'm in my own sort of zone right now. I need this internally myself, mate. I know they have a bad record at Old Trafford, but I'm sure that is due to change as well. I don't rate Amorim. I know, mate. I know what you're saying. Buddy, but I need it just for me. I need to believe in something. Otherwise, I can't survive. I have to believe in my team going into a game. I'll be with everybody else. I've got my concerns. I'll give my concerns throughout the week on what I think is going wrong at Manchester United. But I have to think that they can do something. On a game day, I think Manchester United can beat anybody, no matter how bad they're playing at Old Trafford. I really do. Declan says it was medicine balls that he was practicing with. Mr. Dacia Sandero says that Baynder is an okay backup, but now Lamens has to be there for a couple of weeks. No, not a couple of weeks, mate. The season. Simple. When he's in, he's in. That's it. We cannot change our mind. If you commit to Lamens now and you start chopping and changing between him and Baynder, we look absolutely pathetic. We do. Because we could have bought Emi Martinez. So that, I think, is why Lamens, if he comes in, stays in, and you commit to him. It's pointless because Baynder isn't going to offer you anything else. He's really not. Back up for the next couple of weeks. I would think Amorim must be thinking about putting Lamens in to see what he's all about. He's not going to get a chance to see him unless he puts him in soon because he might be out the bleeding door, Ruben Amorim, yet. He said, don't take advantage of what you've got right now. Don't take it for granted that you're going to be here for the next year. He needs results. It's as simple as that. By the way, anybody asking about the watch along, the link is there in the live chat right now. You will also be redirected to it. We're going to watch Rasmus and Scotty absolutely destroy Manchester City. That's coming up straight after this show, everybody. So make sure that you are with us for that. You will be sent right over. After Champions League away game and Chelsea haven't won at Old Trafford for 12 years, stats say United stats supposed to say start as favourites? I think so, yes. What is important is to score first. Yeah, honestly, I said this earlier on. The fact that we cannot win a game if we don't score first is absolutely abysmal. That's pathetic. Honestly, it's pathetic. And we can talk about all the stats and everything like we did at the start of the show. That doesn't back up the fact that these players don't believe in this system when they go 1-0 down. Yes, when they score first, that's all right. United can take charge. United can actually see the game out maybe or get over the line with some form of points, whether it be a draw or a win. But if we go behind, then we have to give up because that's how it feels. It's like when we conceded against City, I actually felt like the game was over, and that was goal 1. I did. That's how it felt. It was a horrible feeling. If Lamens is a calamity, do we bring Baynder back in? No. No, we don't. We really don't. We have to commit to Lamens now. Once he's in for good. That is it. He is in for good. Welcome to the Mods Club as well, Gems. Good to have you on board there as well. Massive commitment to the channel and a big winner on Match Bingo as well as sponsors for match days. If you haven't already, everybody, please do get onto Match Bingo and grab your 200% discount right now if you put in promo code FUTV. That has been going great guns and loads of people have been getting lucky on there as well. So boost your chances of winning now by putting in promo code FUTV, everybody. Get to it. Right, okay. Second thing that Ruben Amorim can do. We did number 1 and that was decide on a number 1 goalkeeper. Here's one that's going to really resonate with so many people right now. But resolve the midfield issue is number 2. Everyone knows it. There is no longer any originality in pointing out that United's midfield does not function properly. Amorim has stuck steadfastly to his 3-4-3 formation, which sees Fernandes partner either Casemiro or Manuel Ugarte in a 2-man midfield. It doesn't work. They're not even mentioning Kobbie Mainoo in this there as Bruno partnering him either. It's just Ugarte and Casemiro. Fernandes is United's best and most creative player. He doesn't want to be back defending deep, and he is at his best playing further forward with creative license. Casemiro, meanwhile, now lacks the mobility to get around the pitch and cover the gaps, and Ugarte has also been unconvincing. Amorim doesn't trust Kobbie Mainoo to play as a defensively minded midfielder, but something needs to change. Did they round that up nicely in there? Is that summary of Manchester United's midfield issue accurate, everybody? Please do tell me. Get into the comment section and let me know what you think about that one, first of all. But clearly, the midfield is a huge problem. A massive problem for Manchester United. And I would put this at the top. The goalkeeping one is something that you can sort out easily. Very easily, I think. Just put Lamens in. Job done. No messing. I think that's going to come anyway. But Manchester United's midfield, good God, seriously, like, come on. That is one massive one. Some more comments on this, please, everybody. Get in there. The midfield. What would you do with the midfield against Chelsea, by the way, people? I know we're getting close to the game. I know we're not there at the game yet, but let me know. Talk to me, everyone. Why buy someone if you're not going to play him, says Babs. I feel a little guilty as we're being treated to top-class goalkeeping from our loan signing, and he's better than your 2 original keepers. Come on, you as. Yeah. When you got other clubs coming in taking the mick like that, it starts to bother you a little bit, doesn't it? It really does. Hi Adam, imagine if we go and win the next 3. Ruben needs to get these players motivated. Run hard, tackle hard and fight. I just want to see us battle. Systems should not dictate if we fight and have grit. No, we're going to have to make this weekend very, very difficult for Chelsea. We're going to have to make it bitter. We're going to have to make it nasty. We're going to have to get in and amongst them. I know I sound like an old school Mike Bassett dinosaur talking here, but that's what United are going to have to do with Chelsea. They really are. And I don't see United being able to compete quality-wise with them. We'll create chances with certain players. By the way, on Matthias Cunha for this game, he thinks if you ask him and his one-on-one training and what's going on, that he'll be fit and available for the Chelsea game, in his mind. I don't think, going off what's been said by Sully, that United are going to risk bringing Cunha back into this game. But Ruben might be desperate to bring one of his top signings and top players in. You never know. You never know. So keep an eye on that one with Matthias Cunha, by the way. He isn't going to help our midfield, though. So what would you do in midfield? Cal says, Mainoo, we all said was a 10 last season. Why do we think he works in a 2-man central midfield? He wouldn't. He's just next in line to try and fail in the central midfield crap we're playing now. Come on, Cal. Cheer up, buddy. I mean, we could try play 3 men in midfield. Are we going to see that? No, is the answer to it. If you were asking me right now, honestly, I don't think it's for changing. But that's exactly what he does, and that's how he fixes the midfield. Let's move on to the other points. Number 2 was resolve the midfield. If you have just joined us, point number 1 was decide on a goalkeeper. Show some more flexibility. Oh, we just said this, didn't we? If you have just come into the show, there is a chart up on The Athletic right now about the teams and how many times they have changed their system or shape in-game. So how much in-game versatility have clubs had this season? And it's counted the amount of times the formation and shape and setup has changed in-game. Manchester United sit rock bottom of that table. We have changed shape 7 times this season or moved people into different positions that many times, whereas others like Forest have done 40, which, yeah, it is scary. It is. but show more flexibility is point number 3 on this list. This is their explanation and their thoughts behind it. The midfield issue stems from Amorim's reluctance to adapt. He plays the same system regardless of the opponent. There was patience initially upon his arrival, with fans knowing it would take time for players to get used to his ideas, but they are now fed up with it not working. I think it's pretty safe in saying that. Yeah, good summary there on that. Also goes on to say, you talk about his philosophy, his style of play, the way he wants to play. United legend Paul Scholes pointed out on the Good and Bad and the Football podcast this week, there's so many clever coaches in England and around the world. They work it out quite easily. They know exactly how United are going to play every week. How many people have said that in our shows, online, on social media? Everybody said the same thing. You know what's coming. You know what's coming for Manchester United, and it's easy to play against because he doesn't change. If you don't show adaptability and you don't have the best players in every single position to go out and dominate the game, you are going to get battered. And I mean physically and mentally battered by everybody in the Premier League. It's a fact. We all know that it happens. We all know that it's going to continue to happen for Manchester United because he isn't going to change his ways. He's always going to be rigid. He's always going to be the way he is. And it's if you know how a team's going to play and who's going to play and what gaps there are going to be, like Smith Rowe and Iwobi pretty much called it out from Marco Silva's analysis and what he told them to do in the Fulham game. It was easy for them. Everybody's just going off what's been done before. Grimsby figured Man United out easily. Burnley were blown away a bit. They're not as good, and obviously you'd expect Manchester United to beat Burnley eventually. In that game, United I think they overpowered Burnley just about and managed to put chances away, which is why we won that game. But still, they had a good go against us as well at Old Trafford. And then City, well, Pep sussed it out quite quickly after the start of the game, adapted everything. They overloaded midfield, 4-man onto the 2, which was Bruno and Agate. You had Foden, you had Doku, you had Rodri, and it was impossible. Reinders came in and made the 4-on-2, too much space in between midfield and defence, picking up them passes. Quality forwards will always win the day there, and they did. That was that. Flexibility, the name of the game for Ruben Amorim, and something that he just ignores according to, well, nearly every journalist out there watching Manchester United right now. Any change on that, anybody? We won the 99 final, switching 4-4-2 to 4-3-3. Beckham in midfield. This lot can't learn one style of play, says Steve. If he doesn't play free in midfield on Saturday, he's toast because it will be another mauling. Yeah, if he plays the same system and then we get beat and we get overrun in midfield and it's clear for everybody to see, I don't think he can survive. I don't think he can survive. Chris Knowles says, we've always had a midfield general. Robbo, Keane, Scholes, even Carrick showed something. Why haven't we had another since them guys? Because we haven't got anybody working in the recruitment side of Manchester United that's been capable enough of spotting that talent out there. That's all we're saying. I would start with Lamens versus Chelsea, and he has been at the club for a couple of weeks now. Let's see if he indeed is an upgrade on Bayende, Casemiro and Mainu in the centre, and move Bruno to 10. Or change the shape and put 3 men in midfield. Simple as. 4-3-3 will work absolute wonders for Manchester United and this team. It's just so easy to change, but he won't do it. All right, that was point number 3. Point number 4, get Sesko some service, they say. On the face of it, Benjamin Sesko has endured a miserable start to life at Manchester United following his 73.7 move from RB Leipzig. He has made 5 appearances without scoring, a stark contrast to the likes of Hugo Ekitike at Liverpool and Victor Gyökeres at Arsenal, who he will obviously be compared to this season. Service for Sesko, we've said this before. We'll get into that as well in a minute, but just to bring up point number 5 to round this up, and we'll talk about everything. Generate some team spirit. Generate some team spirit, they say. And their reasoning behind this. Fernandes has constantly been forced to defend himself from pundits who believe he isn't captain material. He did so once again this week, explaining his passionate personality while saying he won't change. Amorim isn't about to strip his best player of the captaincy, but he could do with him pulling his teammates together. Yeah, have we got a leader on the pitch to actually inspire the rest of the team instead of Bruno absolutely slaughtering them all the time or trying to do everybody else's job? I still don't think Ruben knows how to handle Bruno Fernandes. I don't. He's a difficult player to handle. If you get him right, he's awesome. If you start playing him in different positions, then you lose that player in that position. I remember it last season against Everton, away from home. Agate scored, I think we finished 2-2 in the game. But Bruno Fernandes was playing deeper. He marauded forward to actually get a ball, to actually get to the edge of the box from the 6th position, vacated that role where he was, and Everton broke down it and they scored from it. That was Bruno Fernandes playing the position he shouldn't be. A more disciplined player would play that ball up and then hold his position and just support, ready for the counter-attack. That's a defensive number 6 midfielder and the job that he has to do. Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes, when he's not being played in the right position, no, that does not happen. And honestly, right now with Bruno Fernandes, I don't know where they're going to play him or what they're going to do with him. But the only way, and I'm 100% behind this, the only way you're going to get the most out of Bruno Fernandes from this point forward is if you play him in a better formation, in a system where he's further up the pitch and he can't do damage at the back and he can do damage up front to the opposition. That's the only way you're going to get anything out of Bruno Fernandes. It's as simple as that. Nothing else matters. So, yeah, that's my thinking and my reasoning behind that one. Can you manifest some team spirit at Manchester United after what's happened this season? I'm going to say no, it's not an easy job. But you never know. You never know. Keep them comments coming in on them, please, everybody. Keep them likes coming in. We're creeping up to the 300 live like mark. Thank you, everyone. Absolutely mega. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, everyone. As you can see, all of the QR codes on your screen, they're up as well. Don't forget to get into your match bingo. That link is also in the live chat, everybody. We are on to City versus Napoli and Newcastle versus Barcelona tonight. Double watch along. We've got them covered, got you covered on both of these games, everybody. It's going to be difficult to concentrate on one, but we're double screening it and we're giving you all the action from both tonight. So make sure you join us on the watch along straight after this live show, everybody. I remember watching that game on the watch along, Adam. 2 goals were Bruno's fault. That Everton game. The Everton game, and he scored, and everyone forgets what he did before it. In the end, the same for years. It gets away with it. I mean, yeah, look, you can't take away the fact that he scores goals, but that's the good thing about Bruno Fernandes. What you're doing is highlighting the weaknesses of Bruno Fernandes when you play him in the wrong position. And I don't get how Ruben thinks that Bruno can play this role. Like, you might think you're more qualified. You're on the ground every day. You know these players better than anybody. We know nothing. We don't know anything about these players. That's fine. But one thing is for sure and is guaranteed is you cannot kid us in what we're watching. And what we're watching at the moment is a team that is completely failing on the pitch to have any belief in themselves at all. And I'm sorry, we can clearly see that Bruno Fernandes is losing confidence as well. He is not going to help Manchester United in that role or in that position. It is a guarantee that you will have a negative result from him playing further back. Other news and things that have been coming out this afternoon, everybody, to keep you fully up to date with everything. Scholes has gone in on Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. I think there's a lot of Man United fans that will be happy about that. Scholes saying they're just not up to it at this level. They need to be moved on. The age, the concerns with the injuries for Luke Shaw, like you could see at weekend with Luke Shaw against the elite, he's just not going to be good enough. And United, you can't compete with that. You cannot compete with that. So, yeah, I agree with Paul Scholes. We said it this morning. The players that probably need to be moved on to make a significant change to United this summer are Shaw, Maguire, Casemiro, Dalot, Mount and Bruno. And Mount, if he doesn't come back from this injury. Because I'm fed up of waiting for Mason Mount to come back from injuries. And I'm fearing it again because no one's talking about it. No one's telling me anything. No one wants to say anything, and that worries me. There was some talks about Southgate being in line again for the job if Ruben is sacked. Now, that's always going to be there, but that was a Dan Ashworth push on that one. But no, I'm just going to shut that one down. Michael Carrick, ready to step in for Manchester United? I can definitely see that. If United need an interim manager again, another one, Carrick's done the job before, and I think he might get a tune out of the players from now until the end of the season. He'll definitely know where the best positions are for these players, and as an interim, he'll just come in and keep it simple. And right now, that probably is what Ruben should be doing. He should be just keeping it simple and making it easy for these players to understand what he wants and what he needs them to do. So if Carrick was in line for United, I would be all right with him coming in as an interim manager. Look, they're not going to get the manager that they want straight away, I don't think. And I think they might have to wait it out, in fact. At this point of the season, who is going to give their manager up? Unless there is an Iriola that wants to come in, unless Unai Emery wants to come into Manchester United, something like that. I just don't see it at this stage of the season, to be honest. And if the worst case does happen and Ruben ends up losing his job, then Michael Carrick would be there to take the mantle. I think Rennie Mulstein was talking that he would put Michael Carrick in there as well. Solskjaer has said he'll do it, by the way. We can't have Jose now that he's signed for Benfica, so that is done as well. But just on the managerial side there, would you take Michael Carrick, by the way, as an interim? Or should we stay away from the interim side of things at Manchester United? Is it not worth it? Let me know what you think on that one, everybody. Also, Shea Lacey trained with the first team squad yesterday and today, and is scheduled tomorrow as well, according to Sully. We talked about Shea Lacey being spoken about to being sent out on loan at the moment. That could be something that does happen. Ruben has been very, very impressed with Shea Lacey, and he is seen as one of Manchester United's top talents. Could have told you that 2 years ago. That kid has got absolute magic in his boots. And if he came through, I said it the other day, I didn't want him anywhere near his first team because I don't want him to be corrupted by it. But Ruben's been impressed, and we might see Shea Lacey. I think it's more likely that he goes out on loan, to be honest. I think that's what we're looking at. There's no way that Lacey gets himself into this side in the position that he probably really wants to play, because Ruben won't change his shape. And it's going to be Mbeumo and Cunha. And like I said before, on Cunha, he thinks he's going to be fit and available for the Chelsea game. United, not so sure. From what's been said, I don't think it's as clear as that. And he might have to wait a little bit longer. Maybe the Brentford game is when we see Matheus Cunha anyway. But yeah, that I think is more realistic, to be honest. More realistic when it comes to when we'll see Lacey. Maybe in pre-season again. Maybe in pre-season. Sir Jim Ratcliffe apparently confirmed was at Carrington today. So that's something, I don't know what he was doing, what he was up to, whether this is the norm or not. I'm not too sure. Maybe there was a meeting, something like that. Don't know. We will find out in time if anything does come from it. Our old boy Marcus Rashford starts in the game against Newcastle tonight. So that is something that we're going to be keeping an eye on now, going into in the next 5 minutes, in fact. We're going to be jumping across to Football Talks after this show to go over into the watch-alongs tonight. We need something to pick ourselves up, I think, and I've got a sneaky feeling tonight Scott McTominay and Rasmus Højlund are going to do it for us. So, on that note, everybody, a massive thank you to you all again for being part of the show. Loved it. Cheers, everybody. And not many people confident about Manchester United this weekend, going off the first poll. We have got quite a few people jumping across onto the watch-along with us now, hopefully, as well. So, thank you again, everyone. We will redirect you across to the watch-along in just a moment. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, mods. Again, great job. Everyone in the chat, you did amazing. I love you all. And on FUTV, I'll be back first thing in the morning. It's press conference day tomorrow. So let's see what that brings. It's going to be an interesting one. But for now, that's it. I'll see you on Football Talks in just a minute.